Picture this: a baseball player who has made this throw 10,000 times, shortstop to first. Easy, automatic, and suddenly the ball sails or sticks or never even leaves his hand. He knows what to do. His body knows what to do, but in that moment, nothing works. That's not a mechanics problem. That's the yips. And today, we're talking about what's really happening when an athlete's body forgets what it already knows. Welcome to the mental weight room, where we train the brain just like we train the body. I'm Antoinette Daytalk, your host and certified mental performance coach. In today's episode, we're shedding light on something athletes only whisper about. It's something parents Google late at night for answers, and coaches don't always know how to handle: the yips. And if you think this is just a baseball problem, think again, because it's not. It happens in all sports. The yips are not a lack of talent, weakness, or poor work ethic. The yips happen when an automatic motor skill becomes overly conscious under pressure. Your brain steps in where it doesn't belong. Skills that should run on autopilot suddenly get dragged into the conscious side of your brain. And the brain is terrible at conscious control under stress. This shows up in baseball players like infielders unable to make routine throws, catchers freezing on return throws to the mound, pitchers losing command, athletes saying, "I don't know what's wrong, I'm thinking too much." But the thing is, baseball doesn't own this problem. We see it in putting in golf, free throws in basketball, serving in volleyball and tennis, and getting lost in space when flipping or twisting in gymnastics and springboard diving. Different sports, same root issue. Pressure invites over control and kills flow. So what's actually happening with the yips? Well, let me explain. When you master a skill, it lives in the subconscious part of your brain. Those skills that you've mastered, are executed best without conscious oversight. Under pressure, your brain's primal threat system activates to protect you from pain. The brain micromanages what you're doing to prevent mistakes and to save you from the pain of failure, embarrassment, frustration, all the things that happen when you make a mistake. That micromanaging is the problem, because what you're doing is you're interrupting things that are meant to flow. At the Tokyo Olympic Games, Simone Biles experienced what gymnasts call the twisties. She lost kinesthetic awareness mid-skill. She didn't know where her body was in space. That wasn't fear, that wasn't quitting, that was a neurological disconnect. And unlike a missed throw, this kind of thing is dangerous. Her decision to step back showed athletes everywhere that even the greatest performers are human, and safety matters. And that's why just pushing through the yips or pushing through these neurological disconnect is never a good idea. Telling athletes to relax, to trust it, to stop thinking, it doesn't work. The issue isn't effort. It's interference. More effort often makes the block stronger. So now let's talk about what actually helps when an athlete is dealing with the yips or the twisties or any moment where the body suddenly stops cooperating. And I want to be really clear here. This is not about fixing mechanics. This is not about more reps. And it's definitely not about just being tougher. What helps is retraining the relationship between the brain and the body. First, we shift from focusing on outcome to focusing on sensation. When an athlete is stuck, their brain is obsessed with the result. Don't miss the throw, don't sail it, don't fail, don't embarrass yourself. That outcome focus creates more tension. So instead, we redirect attention to something the athlete can feel: smooth, loose, rhythm, tempo, breath. We're not asking, did it work? We're asking, what did that feel like? Because feel brings the nervous system back into the present moment, and that's where automatic skills live. Second, we use external focus cues, and this is huge. When athletes turn their attention inward, elbow position, wrist angle, foot placement, performance usually suffers and even gets worse. But when focus shifts outward to a target, to a spot, a sound, a rhythm, the body organizes itself more efficiently. The cue doesn't need to be complicated either. It just needs to pull attention out of the head and back into the environment. Third, we normalize the experience. And this might be the most underrated part of recovering from the yips, because the yips grow in silence. They grow in shame. They grow when athletes think, what's wrong with me? So we name it. We normalize it. We talk about it. When an athlete realizes they're not broken, that this happens to high-level performers, that this is a nervous system response, not a character flaw, the threat level drops. And when the threat level drops, performance becomes possible again. Fourth, we train under manageable pressure. Avoidance makes these blocks stronger, but overwhelming pressure reinforces them. So we rebuild trust gradually. Scaled reps, predictable environments, controlled stress. This is progressive overload, not for muscles, but for the brain. We don't throw athletes back into the deep end and hope. We create success they can feel again. And finally, we reset identity and narrative. Because what an athlete believes about him or herself during this moment matters. They are not someone who can't throw anymore, someone who chokes, someone who lost it. They are someone retraining trust, someone learning how to regulate pressure, someone strengthening a skill they were never taught. Language matters, story matters, and when the story shifts, the nervous system follows. Now, if you're a parent or a coach listening to this, I want to speak directly to you for just a minute. Your role here isn't to fix it, and it's definitely not to coach harder. Your role is to make it safe. Safe to talk about what's happening, safe to admit something feels off, safe to struggle without feeling embarrassed or judged, because shame shuts athletes down fast. So resist the urge to over-instruct. Resist the play-by-play analysis. Resist trying to solve it in real time. Instead, lead by being calm. Lead with patience. Lead with confidence in who this athlete is beyond this one moment. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, I believe you'll figure this out, and I'm here while you do. That kind of safety doesn't weaken athletes. It gives them room to come back. Thanks for tuning in. If this episode hit close to home for you, or you know someone struggling with the yips, or something like it, pass it on. Leave me a comment, tap 5 stars, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media so you never miss a mental workout. And if you'd like to learn more about what training the mental side of your sport can do for you or an athlete you love, head over to my website at www.antoinettedaytalk.com. And if you're ready for a more personal conversation, click book a free session to talk with me directly. It's free, so you've got nothing to lose, and I love connecting with athletes, parents, and coaches. That's all for today. This is Coach Antoinette signing off, and until next time, keep training your brain like you train your body, and keep pushing your limits.